today at Zion National Park. Let's go.
Come on.
Hey guys, what's going on? Val and Jarrett again with our next adventure. And in this video is part 3 of 3 days at Zion, 3 trails. And this time, in our opinion, is the coolest trail.
Absolutely.
Which you can probably guess is the Narrows.
The Narrows.
So the Narrows is the coolest, most amazing hike we've probably ever been on. I would do it again in a heartbeat, and we would definitely go further than we got to go this time, but I think we had a really good experience with it.
We did. We just had one particular teenager who gave up on us.
And that happens sometimes. So on this particular trail, we arrived early as we could, and thought was a decent time to give us plenty of time through the day.
Got a good parking spot.
Which was 8 a.m. And we did get a good parking spot right up front again. So in March, I just feel like maybe the sweet spot is between 8 and 8:30, or any time before 8:30. After that, you're kind of fighting the crowd. This time, we wanted to mention you rent your equipment the night before. So Zion Outfitters opens between 4 and 7 for the next day's rental. So let me back it up. On trail number 2, which for us was day 2, we went to the Emerald Pools Trail in the previous video. When we were done, we kind of timed it so we would be done around that 4 o'clock mark so we could rent our Narrows equipment for the next day.
Right.
The Zion Outfitter equipment place for the Narrows does not open at 3:59.
They will not rent to you at 3:59 and 30 seconds.
They open at 4 o'clock.
On
Okay.
the money.
So just,
Not 3:59:59, not 3:59:45.
yeah.
And I'm pretty sure it might be 4:00, like 4:00 semicolon 01.
Okay. They make you sit outside and wait, which is fine. We get it. Maybe that's their break time, but 4 o'clock on the dot, they open. And you can rent, they'll tell you exactly what you need for that type of weather. We rented the bibs. You get the shoes, the wetsuit socks, the bibs,
And a walking stick.
and a walking stick. And for an extra $12, you can get a dry backpack, which we did pay for one.
And it did come in handy.
Yeah, so there was 4 of us.
Those guys really seemed like when they were giving us our stuff, they're like, "Here you go," and they were pretty much. None of us had to go back and get a.
A different size.
I mean,
they know what they're doing. But there were 4 of us, and it cost about $250 to rent equipment for 4 people. So a little pricier on this hike, but totally worth it, especially in March, because when we got there, I don't think it was 40. I think it was really cold.
They were being ridiculous.
So most people get dressed, on the benches over there and kind of suit up. But it was so cold that morning. Me and the girls we just lost our minds or something, and we just kept laughing, and we couldn't get our feet in the rubber ankles. And anyway, it was a time getting the suits on. I'll just tell you that.
She put her suit on in the front seat of my Chevy Equinox.
I've got my suit on in the car. Olivia's trying.
I can't get it on.
Emily put hers on backwards. We'll get there when we get there. It's 30 degrees.
Oh my god.
Success. I got my socks on. Are you annoyed? Emily says she's planning the next vacation. Come on, girls, let's go.
My foot, I can't get my foot.
We were just cracking up at that point. We were like, do we even want to do this? And Emily at one point was like, who scheduled this trip? Okay, got the boots on. Feeling like I did it appropriately. Got my mask for the bus. I've got my floaty for my GoPro, which is the mistake I made in Orange Beach, Alabama. So that should be good. I've got 2 wet bags, one for my GoPro extra equipment and one for my shoes. 2 waters. Jarrett's got the snacks in the dry bag. Emily's still working on it over here.
Is it on backwards, Emily?
Yeah, she got them on backwards.
You got your shoes on? You're good now? See, most normal people get ready over there on the benches, but we're not normal. And we couldn't tolerate the 30-degree temps this morning.
It's 45 degrees outside.
It's 30.
It was 40. It was like 45. And they're trying to get these suits on, and getting these suits on are rough because they have these like little rubber ankle gasket things that you have to squeeze into, and it's like a pain in the.
It's really hard to get your foot into. That's the most trying part of putting on the equipment. And it's like really tight around your ankle. And
It has to be to keep water out.
Well, right. You get the shoe on and you've got everything suited up and you start walking. The tightness of that ankle almost feels like your foot's going to lose circulation and you feel like, are my feet going to go numb? Like, am I going to make it through this? But as you keep walking, you kind of just get used to it. And it's totally fine.
It was funny because when Olivia tried on her suit, she was like, my feet's turning purple. And I went up and asked the guy, I was like, are your feet supposed to turn purple? And he said, yeah. No, okay.
Totally normal.
Yeah, he goes, just once you get in the water, you won't even notice it. When it comes to wearing your wetsuit, or your waders, or whatever you want to call them, they say dress for the weather because they don't keep you warm.
They will keep you dry, but not warm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but that is not true of the shoes. The shoes will keep you warm, but not dry.
Right.
So I wore like a thin pair of,
Like,
hiking pants, like
that's right.
exercise pants. And then we were not warm enough. Our youngest daughter, Olivia, had on a thin pair of leggings. And we just were like, I don't think we're going to do, the water's 50 degrees. I'm not sure that we're going to be warm enough. And I would rather take off upper layers than have my feet and legs like freezing if the water was too cold. Because at that point, you're dressed, you can't take off the bottom layers.
No.
So we decided, okay, we went to the Zion Outfitters and bought a pair of sweatpants to put over top. So I had the thin pair of pants and the sweatpants and the dry suit. And then I had on a t-shirt and a sweatshirt. What?
2 days of hiking, 2 days of the girls buying stuff at the store because they can't, whatever.
You made the mistake of booking a trip with 3 girls, okay?
The girls are no longer going camping with me.
What did you wear under yours?
I had a pair of khakis on, and I think I had I believe I had a t-shirt and a flannel shirt on, and that's all I wore.
That's right. And
Okay.
by the end of the hike, we were warmed up. Like, I believe I took my sweatshirt off walking back because it got hot.
I did have a jacket on when we started, and I shed the jacket pretty soon after we got into the hike, so.
So the bus line was probably just as long as it was on day 2. Maybe a 15-minute wait, not bad. The bus takes you all the way to stop number 9.
The bus is free, by the way.
Yes, which is further than the lodge, and it's such a beautiful drive. I mean, you can see the mountains through that. They even put a skylight in the bus because they know what they're doing. You want to see the view all around you. You can see Angel's Landing. It's totally gorgeous, but drops you off at stop 9. So there is a bathroom if you need to go at stop 9. Right before we start our, I guess, half-mile to mile hike before we actually get to the water. And then it's a 1-mile hike, and then your hike begins.
The walk before the walk.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Gonna hit anybody behind me?
I'm gonna trip you.
Thank you. So I get injured before I get injured? Where we get in the water, guys. Here we go. I can feel the coldness of the water for sure.
And then we walk out in the water and we're like, crap, our feet are now squishy.
The water starts seeping in and you can feel the coolness of it, and we're like, okay, no big deal, right? Okay, I can feel the coolness of the water, and then you start walking and you start to feel a squish. And of course the girls are like, my feet are already getting wet, and we're like, well,
You're supposed to get wet.
I guess they told us our feet will get wet. So we didn't know that before, we had looked into taking the Narrows hike. this was a surprise to us. So,
And they did kind of tell us, but I don't think it like registered with us like what they meant. Like your feet will stick, you know.
I mean, the squish is real. Like every step you take, your feet are wet and squishy. Woo! I'm excited already.
I don't like it.
You don't like it? You don't like squishy feet? Yeah. But the rest of you stays dry because of that tourniquet they put on your ankle. It is hard to get your balance. One step at a time. Oh, okay, that's where it's deep. I'll follow these guys. Against the current. It's pretty wild. You know, I think the stick is actually harder. It's like having an oar in the water. You have to kind of fight the current with it even more. At this beautiful family over here from the Netherlands. It's so awesome to talk to different people from all over at these parks. You run into people who come from every state and just about every country. It's pretty awesome. Look at the sun coming down on us. We just got through the deepest part. And Emily says she has frostbite, but it's actually starting to warm up. So we disagree. What time is it anyway? 11:30? Stopping for a lunch break. Lunchables, what's on the menu? And that's all I brought? Chips? the corner behind me, taking a break. Jarrett and Olivia are ahead of me in front of this rock because I stopped to smell the roses too much and take too many photos. But guys, if you're gonna take your time doing anything, it's here. Look at this. I'm gonna turn this around for you. I'm about knee deep. There's a current, so let me hold on to this too. I mean, does it get any better? Every corner just gets better and better and better. Emily's just right around that corner. I know.
That's how you walk across the river.
So that hike was probably one of the prettiest hikes that I've ever done, and it's
For sure.
makes you like feel really small.
And I believe that for the younger kids, they suit them up to the neck. So they're probably staying dry all over. But if you rent the bibs, you know, and you end up slipping, your arm gets wet. That's what happened to one of our daughters. She had a sweatshirt on, and her sweatshirt was soaked up to her shoulder. So she was chilly for a lot of the day. So those are just some things to consider. But man, that was the prettiest hike. And we didn't get as far as what I believe is called Wall Street, which I think is maybe one of the most beautiful places to take pictures. But I don't think we quite made it that far. We almost did. And one of our daughters kind of pooped out and just decided she was tired. I mean, we had gone on 2 other 4-hour hikes the 2 days previous. We felt satisfied with the distance we did make into it. Still, with stopping to eat, taking our time, taking pictures, it still was about a 4-hour event for us.
You know, when you walk the narrows, I'll just say it like this: choose your own adventure.
Yeah.
So you know you can do the easier stuff, and then we went through one kind of deep place, and the rest of it really wasn't too bad. My understanding is the further you go up, it's kind of like the more difficult it gets.
Right, and that's where a lot of people turn around. Bunch of kids are in there. Kids do this hike, so, and I'm sure you've seen other videos on it. We're not experts of it. This was our first time. This is just our experience. But the further you go, we've heard, the more difficult it gets.
And the less people.
But the more beautiful it gets too. So I would like to go back and try to get further.
I would go specifically just to do that hike.
Yep.
All right, guys, this was our 3 hikes in 3 days, or 3 trails in 3 days trip series of Zion National Park. We've got some other cool trips coming up soon that we hopefully get you on, and hopefully Hope everyone's doing well. If you have questions or comments, just feel free to reach out to us, and we will talk to you guys next time.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching.
See you guys.